Akadama Libidagatas. Last time for Libidagatas, because we'll be on a new game next time.
Yeah.
We looked it up where we were missing a biometric safe.
Yes.
And here it is. And that gives us our last 10 codes.
So now we can really do all of the endings.
Now we can really do all the endings. And now, I'm guessing we want to do, I want the map. Why can't, because I'm walking.
The big one last.
The big one last?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we can just pick whatever order we feel like for the rest.
So, does anyone have any requests of what we do first?
I think the last one is going to be the best one.
Yeah, we thought we would do this last.
Okay.
I think first we should just connect circuits.
I didn't say...
Save now.
Save right now.
Oh, save, yeah.
Okay, we'll see if that works. Connect the circuits, is that what you said?
Shelby.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Top
seems
down.
like the worst thing.
Yeah. Attention, this protocol is used only for testing the power consumption of subsystems at minimum power. Running this protocol at levels exceeding 50% may lead to the complete destruction of the entire Heimdall system. Current power. 93%. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes. Serial connection of independent circuits initiated. Let's see what happens.
A series of terrible explosions shook the
There's a
city.
narrator for you guys now.
Yeah. I kind of figured.
The relay towers became colossal columns of flame, falling on residents' houses
Oh no.
and destroying the streets below.
We are killing people.
Violent fires raged for several days, and when they were finally put out, the heaps of twisted iron and sad memories were all that remained of Project Heimdall. Little changed in the country. Ministers continued to fight over power. Old players were deposed by new ones, each more vain than the last. A lack of principles became a synonym for success. Ordinary citizens remained a bargaining chip in political games, small cogs in the soulless machine of total surveillance and control. The ruling elite had no use for Evan. After the protective dome disappeared, he was held at gunpoint and thrown out the same window his father had fallen from.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Like father, like son, they shouted at him in a mocking farewell. And only during that fall, in a state of absolute terror, did Evan truly feel free for the first time in his life, even if only for a fraction of a second.
I mean, we knew that one was going to be a bad ending. Right?
Yeah. Very sad.
Second one.
Second one?
Yeah.
I think we should just go down the list.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, why don't we?
Attention, isolating the system from any external changes is possible only by the complete removal of all biometric data. In addition, for formatting access data and activating additional firewalls, this protocol assumes the physical elimination of the last active administrator with the total removal of his or her DNA chains. Medical data suggests that this procedure is quick and highly painful. Are you sure you want to proceed? Complete system isolation procedure launched.
Over time, the huge relay towers became a familiar part of the urban landscape. Slowly turning rusty and useless, they hung gloomily over the heads of everyone below.
Alright, let me click.
And though some said that the towers were only slumbering, still waiting for their master, no one ever found out what they were really built for. Little changed in the country.
Oh, okay, is this part the same?
Ministers continued to fight over power. Old
Okay,
players
we'll
were
skip over.
deposed by new ones, each more vain than the last. Ordinary
Yeah, it looks like we didn't do
citizens remained
anything
a bargaining chip in political
in terms of
games.
the
Overall,
overall
yeah.
arching theme of the game, unless we get the perfect ending, maybe. But
Yeah.
I think overall,
Well, of course,
because
the
we were
one-
pretty middle.
Oh, here we
Sacrifice
go.
wasn't
Oh.
in vain. None of the ministers who so passionately wanted unlimited control over the minds of the citizens were able to have it.
Alright.
Who knows how much worse things could have been if Heimdall had fallen into the wrong hands. But But in the final seconds of his life, Evan still thought, could things have turned out differently? Was there ever any way for me to change something for the better?
Probably.
Dang.
That one took 0 codes. Like,
Yeah.
maybe any for that.
Thanos got to him. So sad.
So sad.
Alright.
Damn you, Thanos. Add administrator.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
just go top bottom.
Yeah.
Searching for users with the appropriate access level complete. Select new administrator.
Oh,
gosh.
God. All right.
Were we gonna do all of them?
Yeah, top down.
Alright.
Yep.
Ferguson. User not found.
Oh,
User not found. User not found. Transfer administrator privileges to the user.
Oh boy.
Sir Himda is awaiting your instructions. Well, that made at least that
A
easier.
low pulsating hum drawn through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind and bending every single person to its mechanical will. Men and women,
I wonder if you
adults and
can,
children, rich
like,
and
not
poor.
have them arrested and you somehow
Yeah.
just make it
In
up.
just
You-
a few
yeah, you
I think
can.
so.
the entire
Yeah.
population submitted to
That was just our
Heimdall's
easiest way because I think it's because I like to
From then
read
on,
books and
people
snoop.
thought,
And I think
Yeah.
that was the quickest way to
wished,
get rid of them because
and
you would
did
snoop and then you'd find
only
things
what
and
was
then that would give us
required of them.
10,000 reps, so that's what we did.
Yeah.
But I'm
Heinrichs
sure
deceived Evan
We did other
unshakably.
things, but...
With the
Yeah, we could have
relays at his
defeated
disposal,
all of our
he spread them
co-workers
quickly
every
Yeah.
time.
throughout the country and immediately carried out his plan to destroy the population. People dutifully lined up at the euthanasia centers, and when there was no one left, the Boreans came and took everything they
Oh, I
needed.
was like, why would he kill everyone? But that makes sense because he's buried.
The once
Yeah.
great country became a desert with the frightening, empty streets of a ghost town. Evan wasn't able to see it through to the end. He was only able to marvel at how quickly his fate had been decided, and regretted that Heinrichs didn't find enough soap for his rope. At least he wasn't around to witness one of the largest genocides in history, and the destruction of his family along with it.
Wow.
Well, we knew that wasn't going to be good
Yeah,
either.
that one was obviously not going to be
Pretty
good.
bad.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst.
Yeah, so everyone dies.
Yeah.
Alright, happiness for all.
Happiness for all.
An experimental protocol to introduce recipients to the pursuit of personal happiness and public welfare, not recommended for use without prior A/B testing in AB audience during AB period. Well, I don't understand anything. With an analysis of selective cohorts, soft launch may result in an LTV decrease. Launch the protocol. The experimental protocol initiated.
A low pulsating hum drawn through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind and bending every single person to its mechanical will. Men and women, adults and children, rich and poor. In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt, wished, and did only what was required of them. The desire of an abstract common good, embedded into the minds of citizens, had unexpected consequences. As it turns out, everyone has their own idea of good, and this meant that people strived for different, often opposite things. A wave of unmotivated violence swept through the city. People attacked one another at random, sincerely believing that they were doing it for the common good. When the wave of violence subsided, leaving behind it blood-soaked streets, the few survivors, shaken to the depth of their souls by the incident, started building a better world. And they did it with such fervor that they forgot about their own basic needs. After only a month, Helmer was a ghost town where even the most desperate did not set foot.
So basically they all like starve
Anyone
themselves.
who understood
Yeah.
what was happening and who still had free will wisely fled the city, while Evan stayed on the top floor, witnessing the consequences of his choice day after day.
I'm wondering if there's not a good ending
Sometimes
at
in
all.
moments of weakness, He thought that punishing
No.
himself with the monstrous sight of the massacre below was enough to atone for his sins. But soon there was no one left to whom he could repent. And so the thought of the shredder several floors below seemed more and more attractive to Evan every day. But what mattered was that the thought was his own.
Up to the shredder then. Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
2 more options. None of them have been like. I guess the best one so far is just not letting anyone have this, and then nothing changes.
Yeah.
But also, we haven't killed everyone. All right, God mode.
God mode.
Attention, this program may alter recipient perception of the current administrator status. Proceed to defy Evan Redgrave. Cult of personality initiated.
The cult of personality.
I like how we already denied being a god.
Pulsating
I know.
roamed through the city, filling the air, boring into every mind, and bending
Blah, blah,
every
This is the same. We've heard that. Yeah.
In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt, wished, and did only what was required.
You know that part. Click as soon as I can.
Is a cult of personality really such a bad thing? After all, if someone receives praise to the high heavens, doesn't that mean that they deserve it? The mindless worship of the wise leader was replaced by the blind adoration of Evan Redgrave. And if citizens had previously been able to afford to express their disapproval of the current state of affairs even in a whisper, now no one would have dared to do so, because having one's own thoughts is an unaffordable luxury in a country covered with relay towers. But this is not the end. It is only the beginning. There are still so many places in the world where Heimdall towers are yet to rise into the skies, and so many countries yet to learn about Evan Redgrave. Replacing the wise leader, is that not the pinnacle of a ministry career? The name Redgrave was respected before, but now
How are we
it
doing?
inspires awe. Isn't that what you wanted
we're
for
having
your
a good
son,
time.
Father? Isn't that
Oh,
the
yay.
greatness you dreamed of when you created Heimdall? Evan sits at the top of the world, and everything belongs to him, from the mountains and rivers to the people and their thoughts. He alone decides what his subjects can feel and want. Evan Redgrave is a god now, and what does it matter that the fate of all gods is loneliness?
All right. I'm curious how that, besides the new worship, is how does that affect everyday citizens?
Yeah. Because if we're still Evan, then maybe it's not so bad. We'd make good decisions and stuff.
Honestly, that's why I was like, that one might actually look like the best one, even though you wouldn't think it would be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's the only one so far where people weren't all killed or still being dragged away to jail. So.
Yeah.
All right, but let's see this last one. I think this is the good.
This has to be the good.
All right. The content of the protocol has been hidden by a previous administrator. Initiate this protocol. Protocol initialized. Playing the present phrase.
Preset phrase.
Preset phrase. You've made the right choice, son. I'm proud of you, and I love you so much. Protocol loaded. This has got to be it.
A low pulsating hum droned
The
through the
music's
city,
better. You guys can't hear it,
filling
but
the
it's
air.
happening.
In just a few minutes, the entire population submitted to Heimdall's power. From then on, people thought, felt,
We're still
wished,
mind controlling
and
people in
did
this one,
only
so
what was
Yeah.
required of them.
let's see what happens.
You can't force a person to be happy against their will. But what if you forcefully give them free will? What if you instill in them a single thought? From now on, you make your own decisions
interesting.
and take responsibility for your own actions. Could it bring about peace? The inhabitants of Helmer were the first to become truly independent. Even though their lives weren't perfect, their choices were often far from ideal, and the consequences of these choices were painful. But they had their own choices, their own happiness, and their own mercy. The ministers, all of them were executed. The monstrous and useless bureaucratic apparatus was gradually dismantled, and the ministry building was turned into a museum dedicated to senseless cruelty. Evan became a full-fledged member of the new society. When asked about what happened in the last days of the great state, he would only smile and stay silent. He had no wish to recall his time spent in the ministry or the nightmares that he witnessed and took part in. Evan lost himself in real work and finally reunited with his family. Until the very end of his life, he tried to erase from his memory the faces of his superiors and colleagues, wishing fervently that he could stop hearing military marches in the distance and the roar of 1,000 voices chanting, "All hail the wise leader."
Oh.
Should we look up the
Oh, the other endings with the other people?
yeah.
This is whose?
Yeah, this is yeah, if you it's
Only
like
this
what
is
was
the same,
required
yeah.
of them.
this is the first boss, Ferguson.
Okay.
Luxury, senseless and merciless. Marble statues, palaces of golden toilets for officials, Persian carpets, mountains of jewels and money, full pools filled with champagne. The atmosphere of
clicking
greed
through.
and a rotten system drowning in corruption. People stopped seeing anything wrong in it. The worship of one idol over another caused no kind of conflict. The signal from the relays took care of that. The wise leader was replaced by the luxurious leader, and no one noticed. Ferguson didn't appreciate the gesture. Of course, he gladly took control of the relays, but that didn't change anything
And
for
then he put
Evan.
Evan in jail.
The boss didn't trust Redgrave, so he got rid of him as soon as he had what he wanted. Evan was accused of conspiring to overthrow the regime and arrested on the spot. The overzealous police officers, already under the influence of Heimdall's signals, beat Evan mercilessly, screaming, "This is for Ferguson." He was
It was 10 before. Alright, so this is Salvo, which this part's going to be the same here. So we'll go to here.
It's scary when a real psychopath comes to power, and it is a nightmare if his power is limitless. But there are no words to describe the horror when this
is
maniac
scary.
gains
This is
control of your mind. In the hands of the Salvo, Heimdall towers spread across the country, but they didn't just force people to obey. From time to time, they transmitted a single emotion at full capacity: pure horror. Beside themselves with fear, people would increasingly hole up in the deepest crevices they could find, like mice. They had less and less time for anything useful. An atmosphere of impending doom, bordering on panic, reigned in the country for a long time. Evan plunged into a world of boundless overindulgence. At first, to satisfy his own curiosity, and then for the sake of entertainment.
Oh,
He
man.
brought an incredible amount of pain into this world. The apprentice surpassed his master. People started to fear him even more than they feared the Salvo. And as soon as the new leader realized this, Evan's career ended very quickly, unlike his life. He would have been happy to die, but he no longer had the luxury of making his own choices.
That's really sucks. That's Evan's worst outcome.
Yeah, definitely. He had a lot of bad ones, though.
Yeah. Okay, now... Weinberg. This would be interesting.
The relays quickly spread across the country.
It makes sense, the
and
Carls.
citizens were processed
Yeah.
into biomaterial to create clones. Copies of the ideal employee, once known as Carl Stein, replaced ordinary people, first in Helmer, then throughout the country, and then, step by step, all over the world. And next, the conquest of the solar system and the stars. A perfect, effectively functioning world has no room for strife or war, hunger or injustice, love or compassion. When the work was done, and everyone, even his family, had been erased from his life, Evan shared the same fate as his boss. They passed away as equals, proudly looking at the fruits of their labor, and leaving behind an ideal society that worshipped their images, preserved their Bible, and forever remembered Evan as a prophet beside the divine Isaac Weinberg. Death did not frighten Redgrave, because he had accepted it on his own free will, unlike the millions of people he had deprived of the choice.
Weinberg's crazy in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Alright.
That was that. Now with that, that's all the endings. So
That's all
yeah.
the endings. The best one's obviously the last one.
Should we have like a cool logo at the end or something? Like, alright,
Whatever.
let's have a happy Evan as the end here.
Yeah.
There we go.
Aww.
Cute boy
Yay.
Evan.
Boy, Evan. Well, I guess I was like, which one would we choose if we didn't have the last one? Because we were missing 10 codes. Honestly,
Yeah.
we would have looked
yeah.
for it.
Yeah, we would have looked.
And then found it. But I guess
Yeah.
otherwise it would be God mode.
Yeah.
Was
God
the
mode.
other
yeah.
happiest one, which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have a lot of good options. But thank you guys for joining us on this extremely long adventure that I did not think would take this long. Thank you
took
for
a long
watching all the way through, the few of you that have been, so thank you. I hope you enjoyed this crazy adventure of a story, and now we're finally done with all the Beholders, 1 and 2. We'll see if a 3 ever comes out, but probably not for a while. We do have, because it's taken so long, 2 games already lined up to play next.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting so long. But those games are shorter, so if you guys at any point would like to suggest a game for the future, feel free to comment and we will get to it at some point, potentially, depending on what the game is, because certain games are hard, or Ariel only has a Mac, and so depends on how the game can be played and if we can play it together. But feel free to suggest anything and we'll see if we can work it out. Otherwise, do we want to announce our next game?
Yeah.
Our next game is Monster Camp, the sequel of Monster Prom.
Oh, I didn't even know
You
that.
didn't know that?
What
Yeah,
a
that's the next one.
surprise
We've
for
had,
Aldi.
two requests for that game already, so we're doing that one next. And then, if you can figure it out, there is, for one of the games we've played, the second part has finally come out, so we are going to continue that game, but you guys will have to try to figure it out, or you'll find out after we finish Monster Camp.
I'm excited for that one.
You're excited for that one?
Yeah, because I
it'll be
remember
very
really
interesting.
liking the first part.
It was good. We'll have to
Yeah.
go. I'll have to review because it's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we'll get to there. But first, Monster Camp, which will be short, probably 4 to 6 parts, because that's how short the game is. But I hope you guys enjoy. We'll get some comedy after all this very serious, depressing
Heavy, yeah.
murder.
But now we've got happy
But now we got,
Like,
after our happy...
cute boy Evan.
Cute
We'll
boy
circle.
ending
I don't
Evan.
know if you can see
They
it,
should see the mouse now.
but
That's
cute
set up.
boy Evan. We'll circle him.
Yeah.
Aw.
So thank you guys for watching, and join us for Monster Camp next week. See you guys later.
All right, let's get it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.